Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam Jam. This is the craziest shit to happen in running this week. This week's stories include Zach Miller's Super Gel Soup, Hellahs' 7-year run streak, and Strava Dark Mode. Strava Camp returned to Hollywood this past week, and along with it, some announcements from their new CEO, Michael Martin, who formerly worked for YouTube and Nike. Some of the initiatives centered around AI-powered analysis and a built-for-her set of features, including night heat map. But by far and away, the most talked about is likely the launch of Strava Dark Mode. Michael explained it took so damn long because they had to essentially redesign and recode every single page of the Strava website and app experience. While I've got access to a beta version and it's sweet, this should roll out for all users sometime this summer. FKT superstar Heather Anderson, who holds or has held a slew of long-distance through hiking records, including self-supported on the AT, PCT, Triple Crown, and AZT, is back on the Arizona Trail this month for an attempt on the unsupported FKT. What does this entail, you may ask? Well, no water caches, no trail magic, and zero food or water resupply. She must complete the 800-mile trail completely unreliant on any outside support, other than what she started with on the Mexico border, with the exception of natural on-trail water sources. She set off April 27th with 88,000 calories, and so far faced a host of trials and tribulations, including a head wound from a fall due to carrying almost half her body weight in gear and food, a clogged water filter, dehydration, and a bout of peeing blood. Despite that, as of the scripting of this show, she's now made it over 500 miles across the state. Stay tuned. There's a bit of a battle taking place on Arizona's Mount Ord Forest Road 626 up and down Strava segment, or affectionately known as the Mount Ord Easy Way up and down FKT. Over the past month, we've seen 3 of the 4 fastest times on this 13.3 mile route with 3,600 feet of gain and loss set. This is a favorite training spot for Phoenicians gearing up for summer hundreds, such as the Western States 100. Nick Curry took the crown back in late March with a 139.14 to edge out record holder Michael Tom Chaney, and Bryce Brooks clocked a 141.48 on April 27th, but Scott Traer just showed up May 18th with a massive new record of 134.53, taking over 4 minutes off Nick's time and edging close to a sub 7-minute per mile average pace for the entire route. In other FKT news, well actually FKF news, yes, fastest known fish, which is apparently a thing and a real website which tracks the fastest times on a designated route, including catching a fish. This seems to have just launched with routes mainly in the Colorado Rockies. In the rules, they state the route must be at least 5 miles long with 500 feet of climb, and there are different categories for one or multiple fish caught and one-way or round-trip times. Any takers? Brian Powell? Tim Tollefson, who's currently 44th on the Western States wait list, and after failing to qualify during the Golden Ticket season, is polling the trail community on whether he should train as if he'll get in, potentially showing up in Olympic Valley to nab a spot the day before the race, or abandon all hope and turn his attention towards something else. He's currently weight watching alongside another hopeful, Ryan Thrower of Free Trail, and ultimately wants to know if he should hashtag States or Die or hashtag Never Gonna Get In. Hellahs Sidibe, also known as Hellahgood, one of my favorite runners to follow on the scene, has just surpassed 7 years of his famed run streak that began May 15th, 2017. What began as a simple promise to get out the door has blossomed into 2,557 days of inspiration. Hellahs celebrated with his community of supporters, his family, and a couple of his brand partners, Hoka, BPN, and more in New York City. Apparel brand Minted New York, who recently launched their first collab shoe with Saucony, had quite the eventful online launch. After first offering the co-branded and designed ProGrid Triumph 4 shoe at a pop-up shop in Soho, they launched online this past week. The shoe sold out in 2 minutes, but it was quickly determined that an army of bots had scooped up dozens or hundreds of orders, likely hoping to flip them for profit on third-party shoe-selling websites. The Minted Bros, Sean and Marcus, sorted through the orders, canceling the obvious bots, and relaunched the remaining stock in a second round release that was much more of a manual process. Zach Miller, in an announcement about him joining the feed's high-performance team this week, created a new performance metric dubbed BPH, or brands per hour. Will this become the new standard unit of measurement of elite fueling? We'll soon find out. In doing so, he crafted a super gel, combining a total of 33 different brands of gels, one of each offered on thefeed.com. Well, I'm keen to try this super gel out, but unfortunately, I don't have a deal with the feed. So I'll have to resort to the nutrition brands I have on hand here at Aravaipa HQ. So Zach and the feed, I'm here today to one-up your current BPH record. All right, what do we got here? We've got some of my favorite nutrition products, and we are going to be blending these up today. We've got our tray of goodies. Here we go. Going on in, down the hatch. Get all that good salt in there. Down the hatch. Ooh, that one's gooey. Pop one of those in there. Finish that one off. At some point we're going to need some liquid, so let's go for a 5-hour energy. That's tray one. Let's get some of those in there. A little bit of pickle juice. Looks pretty good. And bon appetit to you, Zach. Oh God, delicious, delicious. A new unofficial European 100K record was set in Steenwerk, France by Marie-Ange Brumelat, who ran a 6:50-6:54, which was a shocking 7 minutes under the former best time. Unfortunately for Marie-Ange, there was an issue with the labeling of the race by the French Athletics Federation. From my best translations of the situation, the race itself, the 100-kilometer walk in Steenwerk, where the record was set, refused a condition of their labeling process. Apparently, a condition of the French Athletic Federation required them to review registration fees of the event, which the race refused to do so. They therefore forfeited their label. So therefore, the record will be unable to be ratified officially, will be considered unofficial. In other 100K news, Alexander Sorokin has announced another attempt at breaking the 100K world record with support from Nord Security this upcoming September 7th. He's aiming to break his own 100K world record of 6:05:35. Folks are already calling for the first sub-6-hour performance. I say we try to spice things up. Can we get a petition to add Charlie Lawrence, current 50-mile world record holder, to the entrance list? Somebody please tag him. One of the Beast Coast's tougher 100s took place this past weekend in the Blue Mountains of North Georgia. The feared Cruel Jewel 100 put on by Dumas Events features over 33,000 feet of climb on a 104-mile course out and back through the Chattahoochee National Forest. Cocodona champ Sarah Ostaszewski showed up in a big way, taking the 100-mile win for the ladies, setting a new course record and placing 4th overall in a time of 24:50:52. We have to shout out Pete's Meat's own Peter Mortimer, who has been on fire the past couple weeks, finishing the Mount Fuji 100, then volunteering at Cocodona all week, and turning around for a second-place finish overall after suffering greatly the final 10 miles. Men's winner Ben Quattromoni of Rhode Island also set a course record in 21:41:31. Notable DNFs include Corey Woltering. The Bryce Canyon Ultras took place this weekend in Utah near, you guessed it, Bryce Canyon National Park. The 100-miler was modified due to inclement weather on parts of the course to a 2-loop 50 this year. In first place for the men was Art Hurtado of Texas with a time of 19:42.51. Lori Brindley of Utah was your women's champ in 26:45.49. We've got to take a quick minute to recognize one other Bryce 100 finisher, Simon Gerard, who not only completed the Ultra Adventures Triple Crown of 100s this year, that's Antelope, Zion, and Bryce, but in the past 21 days he completed Mount Fuji 100, Cocodona 250, and the Bryce 100. Just incredible. Other notable racers in other distances include Daniel Jones, who dominated the 50K way out front in 4:19.11, breaking a Hayden Hawks course record en route to his upcoming Western States race. I can't believe we're nearing the end of May and we're already staring down the third race in the Golden Trail World Series. But here we are, and Zagama is coming in hot this weekend. Some of the favorites include Kilian Jornet, Bart Przewalski, Danny Moreno, Caitlin Felder, Sarah Alonso, Bailey Kowalczyk, Robbie Simpson, and David Magnini. Be sure to catch it live on the Golden Trail World Series YouTube or a number of other live broadcast partners, including Eurosport, Weibo, Bein Sports, and Pan Africa. That's it for this episode. Have a shitty week.